Okay, so you're doing your speech. These are the questions. Who, what, where. There's no when. Well, when. You got to show up on the right day. So who's the audience? In this case, it was students. But what do they want to know? You've got to remember that every speech has to be information that your audience wants to know, unless it's purely entertainment. I mean, you can be an entertaining speaker who tells great stories and lots of jokes and is really humorous, and that's cool. I'm not funny, so I don't go there, because I don't want to embarrass myself. I have a daughter who's a stand-up comic, and I said, I'm going to go to some of your open mics to rehearse and try and be funny. And she said, no, Dad, you'll embarrass me. Don't do that. That would be horrible. So I don't do funny. I do, you know, maybe a little corny, quirky, but not funny. So if you're funny, great. Use funny. And you can put in funny pictures. That can help spice it up if you're not funny. Where are you giving the speech? How big's the audience? Well, I pictured a classroom. Crystal told me it was a classroom. So I worked out where I'm going to stand based on a classroom. 2 weeks ago, that big stage, that big auditorium, they had a podium. And all the speakers who spoke before me and after me went up to the podium and stood there. And this was a big, long stage, bright lights, you couldn't see the people. And I said to myself, no way, I don't want the podium. I'm going to be different. So I went and stood in the middle of the stage, and they had to swing the light over on me, which was cool. But I was different, and I caught their attention because I was standing there. And everyone else had a mic, and it was a big place. But I got a big voice. I wasn't worried, and they could hear me in the back of the room. I'm sure they were. But I captured their attention, and I started off by asking them questions about why they were there and what they wanted to know, kind of like I did with you. But it caught their attention, and I think my presentation went really well because I was different, and I had planned on being different by standing in a different spot. So think about where you're going to be, how long you got to speak. So you have to figure out your material to make it fit. And often I'll give this same presentation in 20 minutes. Well, I cut it off in a couple of slides after this, or I tell less stories, or I go through less material, and I have stories I can add in if I've got to stretch. So you got to think about your time. And then, if you're in a big venue and there's a microphone, how am I going to do the pointer and hold a mic? Or is the mic, you know, lavalier? Are you mic'd? Is there PowerPoint, et cetera? You need to know all those things. Now, I was prepared for backup glitches. I actually have a whiteboard in my car in case there was no whiteboards here, and this wasn't happening. I'd be up here on the board writing some of this down. You always got to plan and things not working, because you know what? Usually they don't. There's always something that goes wrong, especially with technology. Think about on your way home what you want to talk about, and let the world know you're there. If you're nervous and you need help, I'll give you some help. Just email me. Happy to help you with your presentation.